I'm Allison,
I'm Jen.
and welcome to Retirement Plan Secured podcast. This is our second episode, and today we're going to get into a little bit about how we became friends, friendship breakups, and making new friends as adults.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
No
right.
new friends.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah. So, let's talk about how we became friends.
I was just thinking about this. So it's so funny because you probably don't know this, and it's very vague because this was many years ago. And I think we were around 18 or 19 years old when we actually started to hang out. But prior to that was the days of MySpace. And do you remember when we used to put like a friends list up at the top?
Yeah.
And like
your top 5,
top
10,
top
whatever.
8,
Whatever it was.
I think it was top 8, 4, 8, whatever. I had been friends with someone who ended up being a mutual connection, and I saw your MySpace, and I was like, wow, she looks like a bitch.
Everyone always says that
In all
about
the
me.
good ways, though, like more like just mysterious and like kind of like
a lot too.
very like stoic. And I'm like, who is she? And we ended up hanging out, and that was it. We've just been sort of inseparable as it pertains to friends since then. And we've been through a lot together over the course of the last however many 20 years.
Yeah, we have. We've gone through
anything and everything you can imagine.
Yeah.
Partying, having children,
getting
going
married,
through,
getting divorced, losing parents.
Yeah. It all.
Losing friends,
which is the topic for today.
Yeah.
So I think, as we think about that journey, one of the harder things we had to navigate together is having spent so much time of our younger years with certain people, and then technically having to say goodbye.
Yeah. And we don't mean saying goodbye as like
something
death.
Terrible happened.
Right.
More
we mean like
we grew apart.
Actual friendship breakup.
Yeah. And it was hard.
Yeah.
And I think no one talks about this.
I think it was even harder how it happened for us.
Right.
Because I personally was completely blindsided.
Right.
I was just like messaging this person and I'm like, oh, why is it not saying delivered on the iPhone?
Yeah.
And no one ever told me that if it didn't say delivered, that meant you were blocked. And then when someone did tell me that meant you were blocked, I'm like, did you block me? Then I actually emailed them. Like, who emails people anymore? Well, even then. I was like, hey, subject of the email was, did you block me?
Yeah. And not going into too much detail, but I think I ended up getting really upset. And you know me, I'm the type where something is going on. It's not making any sense. I see from a bird's eye view what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I very spontaneously like blocked on social media. I was like, not being friends with this. This is done. I was so upset.
I don't block anyone.
I block everybody.
I am way too nosy.
I have a list of 300 people that are blocked.
I'm way too nosy to block
I don't even know who they are. And I'm like, this person's looking at my story, or who is this? Blocked. I don't know.
I'm too nosy to block anyone.
You're too funny. I personally
I'll never answer. Like if we're not friends anymore, I don't talk to you anymore, like you text me, I'll never respond.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that I read it.
That's funny.
And then I'm never going to respond to you.
I am the type where I'm like, I don't even want you to know if I'm alive. Like, I just am.
Well, for me, it's like you're dead to me, but you're going to know I'm still there.
Yeah. I just don't want that energy. Like I feel like energy is so powerful. And I want to protect my peace. Obviously, that's part of like my goal for the retirement plan is having a peaceful life. And like, I just don't want anyone that is negative to have any access to me.
I do agree with that though.
Yeah. But this situation that we went through, I think was pretty hard because I couldn't tell you how many years of us being inseparable with.
I mean, we had an all day, every day group chat going.
All day, every day.
We did a lot of things together.
We met up after work every evening.
We
had multiple groups of friends.
Our birthday parties together. We did a yearly Christmas dinner together.
We just had
we were raising children together.
Right.
And our kids were young at that time, so it was even kind of weirder because my son at least was like, where is this person? Or I haven't seen Aunt so-and-so. And
Lily was the same, yeah.
So
it was hard.
Yeah.
And it happened for us differently. Right? Like, I think there was like a little, and you probably can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there were external influences that caused
possibly
the breakup.
I feel like I did nothing wrong. I don't even know how I got brought into the situation. I was literally just, maybe because I was the more vocal one, like, why are you not talking to me? And they were just like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. What? Who says that?
And that's not what happened with me.
Right. I was just like, okay.
Right. It was weird. I think it was at a time where we were we in our 30s?
Yeah.
We were in our 30s. And
we were fresh in our 30s.
Fresh, early 30s. Everyone's starting to get married. I'm the only one who did not get married, by the way. But everybody started getting married, doing the bachelorette stuff. Like, it was that phase. And, you're mixing groups of people together. Right? Like, other friend groups are coming together. And, obviously, there's going to be some riff at some point in time with that. And I think there was an influence in that other friend group, which really damaged a lot of like what we built as friends over the course of 10, 15 years. It was really sad to say goodbye to it, but it's very eye-opening because after all this time, we're still so close. Our kids think they're cousins, right? Like we're family. No, that's it. Like, we're stuck together. And if we have a problem with each other, it immediately comes up. Like, you're being a bitch, or what's happening. Like, we talk about it.
You can't agree on everything with somebody. You can have friends that don't like each other. So, like, if you have friends outside of me and you that don't like me, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I might have friends, I don't, but outside of you that might not like you, and that's fine.
Yeah. Which I don't think that's the case for us, but like that happens.
People can have separate opinions in general on anything, and you could even you could disagree with things that, on me, but doesn't mean I'm not still going to be your friend.
But we're adults. We talk about it.
Exactly.
And we accept each other for who we are.
Right.
And I think that's where we were at an age where we're still navigating like being taken seriously in our early 30s and wanting to like show that we're adults. And, getting married, and maybe you were already divorced, I think, at this point.
I was newly getting divorced. I feel like we were all going through something major also.
Yeah.
I like literally moved back home like 3 or 4, maybe 5 months prior to this.
Right. I had a 6-year-old.
You were going through your own things.
2 different situations, like guys and situations.
This person was just getting married. So we were all hitting a new thing in our lives, a new milestone. And it's fine to not work out. Listen, I have a friend that I see probably once a year. I talk to her all day, every day. So I see her once a year, maybe twice.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually the perfect friendship.
You always say that.
Yeah. It's like the perfect friend. She never complains that I don't see her. I don't complain that I don't see her. It's just, we're busy. It happens. When we get around to it, we get around to it.
Well, let's talk about friendships for a second, because I could count on one hand my closest friends. And I actually like that.
Same.
Right? Like, it's really hard for me to open up to just anybody. And, I think what's really important is the people that have always been by your side. They prove time and again that they will be there when it gets hard, when life gets hard. And that's the most important thing to me.
Well, that's like, for example, we used to hang out more years ago. Yeah. Now we're older.
We also don't live close to each other anymore.
Right. Obviously, we're getting together for this, and this is going to be
a way for us to stay connected.
Right. But like, there's another friend of ours who moved to New Jersey. I talk to her all the time. She's one of my bestest friends. I don't see her often, but we
like,
don't lose anything.
Yeah.
If something happens at the drop of a hat, we're there for each other.
Right.
And that's just the way it should be.
Right.
I don't need to see you every day for you to know that I'm still your best friend. I don't need to call you every single day. Do we touch base? Do we keep each other updated? Do we talk to each other? Yes, but we see each other when we can. And when it's important, we make it happen no matter what.
And that's what's important too. Like, you want to have people in your life that are evolving.
Right.
Not necessarily with you, but are evolving in their lives.
Right.
And, you know, I have had instances where I've had people close to me who maybe are still stuck in a certain way. And I've evolved, and it causes a rift or it causes us to grow apart. But there's always the love.
Right.
You know? And I think you have to remember as you get older that friendship is really important, especially for women.
Right.
Because we'll be in relationships and maybe married, and usually the woman lives and the man dies at a certain age, and who are you going to hang with?
Right.
You should have your friends close always.
Absolutely. And you can't have friends that don't clap for you behind your back.
Oh yeah, that's really important.
I feel like that's like a really big thing.
Really
like,
big.
You can't be jealous of anything that your friend has, whether it's being so skinny or, having this lavish lifestyle or finding a man that treats them amazing. Like, you just clap for them.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, like, you're not going to get anything you want in life.
But also,
if you're not happy for other people.
Why would the bigger thing is that, like, make sure you're close to people who will defend your name when you're not there.
Right.
And that's really important.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm sure, you and I have had our fair share of people who were very, like, jealous or, like, were just not good to us.
Right.
But we knew it. We knew it before they even acted.
Absolutely. And that's why we have the smallest tight-knit group of friends.
Right.
And you have your own separate 5 friends on your hands, and I have my own 5 separate people on my hands. And yes, they know each other, but they're not the same people.
Right. But they respect each other, and we're actually like, we can put them all in a room and they're really kind to each other. And like, I think there's the ability to learn from each other. And I mean, 2 of the people on my list are my sister and my cousin, right? Like, know, and I'm fortunate to be able to have a sister, and like, you're an only child, and you and I look at you as my sister.
Right. And same.
Yeah.
I mean, all of my 5 people on my hands, or however many it is, are literally like my sisters.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you can choose your family.
Right. I could at any given moment be like, hey, I'm having my entire family over. Are you going to come? And my entire family is going to think of you and my other friends as family. Oh, my aunts are going to think of you as their nieces, and you're going to call my aunt, blah, blah, blah. Like,
which happens.
Just the way it goes.
Yeah.
And they might actually mistake you for me from behind. Who knows? It's happened.
That happens.
But,
Yeah.
We've just been in each other's lives for so long that at this point it is
a
family.
given. And like, no matter what, we'll be there for each other, no matter how hard it gets.
Right.
Or how great it gets.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we also have the good things happening. Our kids are getting older. We're going to reach new milestones. Right. I can't wait for what's next for you when it comes to like plans for getting married again and like doing that whole thing. You have a really great guy in your corner.
Yeah.
But it is hard when we think back on all the wild and fun memories that we had with certain people who were so close to us. Mm-hmm. And we're the keeper or the keepers of those memories, and we can't talk to them about it.
Right.
And that's sad.
It does sad. Because there's so many times I want to be like, remember that time that we did blah, 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 blah. Or remember that time.
I know. 3
of us, the 4 of us, the 5 of us went on this trip and that trip, and like, look at these pictures. And I look back at pictures and I'm like, ugh.
Well, it's sad too, because like, we can't post like certain pictures because then it's weird, know? Or
it's just honestly, it's just sad in general. And I guess like, this is not a not normal thing. It's a normal thing to have friend breakups, but it just really sucks.
Yeah. It's harder than like a relationship.
Yeah.
It really is.
The man is like, okay, bye.
Because you choose these people to be part of your family.
Right. As you choose a relationship partner to be part of your family also, but you expect to know that this person may just go one day.
Right.
Right?
Well, also, like, you may get into a relationship with somebody, and guess who knows everything about that relationship?
Your best friend.
Your best friend.
Yep.
And so, like,
you might not know, but everything that happens, my best friend knows.
Yeah. What I will say is that,
especially in the beginning stages when you first start dating someone.
Oh, forget it.
You can tell your best friend everything.
We have
Their
nicknames
nickname,
for them.
everything. Did you say nickname at the same
Yeah.
time? I mean, everyone has a nickname.
Yeah.
So it's like they know everything. And then they're just gone.
And that's it.
Yeah. And now you have to, trust they're never ever going to say, like, any of, your secrets, or not even secrets, or just, like, in general, like, your personal stuff.
Right.
And B, now you're just, like, mad.
Well,
I'm over being mad.
There's phases, like, right? Like, I think when it first happens, you're shocked, then you're upset, and then you get angry.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's, like, more like melancholy, like, oh, that's a sad situation, because now we're older, and it's like, well, we probably could have worked it out.
Right.
Or what was the actual cause? Or maybe, you know what? Maybe we weren't meant to have that kind of person in our life, because they may not have been good behind our backs. They may have been,
right.
Right? And I think you and I are intuitive enough to know that certain people we were around were just, like, not kind or wanted to have us around.
Right. For whatever reason.
For whatever reason. And I think
that maybe it happened the way it did because that's the way it should have.
I agree. And I hope that, everyone experiences this in some way or another. I even watch it with my almost 16-year-old. And what I say to her is this: I think it's important that she just goes with the flow, versus, like, holding on really tight to someone and then, like, being super disappointed when it ends. Like, when you're that young, friendships will ebb and flow and or, like, disappear.
Right.
And you have to kind of go with that.
Right.
And just accept it for what it is. Mm-hmm. I think we were just so much older when it happened, where you would expect, like, after that long friendship, like, it's just going to last forever, and it didn't.
Or just, like, be mad at each other and not talk for a couple weeks, and then
that was it.
Go back to normal. But it was just...
And listen, I know, like, our experience with this particular situation was very different. Mm-hmm. I think I was defending you in a lot of ways. I got mad at behavior where you weren't invited to, like, a specific thing, or you weren't part of a specific set of things that were happening, and I couldn't understand it. And I was like, why am I being put in the middle of this right now? I felt like I was in the middle.
And I never complained once. Maybe once. I did once.
Yeah.
I did say, like, this is weird.
But you should have.
But I wasn't even mad about it. I was like, fine.
You should have said something. I did say something because I was upset.
It made no sense. It was very confusing.
Yeah. But then I think where it hit ahead was when it was almost like us against them. And not even the person that we were close to, like the people around her. Right. And she had to choose. And she had to make a decision on who she was going to keep in her corner.
Right.
And it was unfortunate that she decided to choose them versus us. And I was not going to, like, accept
But she should have never had to choose. So if anyone
I agree.
was making you choose, those aren't
the
people
right
that were
people.
looking for the best outcome of your life. Those people were not looking out for your best interest.
Right. Agreed.
So, you know what? At the end of the day, it's fine.
Agreed.
It is what it is. I wish them well.
Same.
I hope they have a great life.
I really do
too. I hope that they live a happy and healthy life.
And I think the love will always be there for, like, the good memories that we had.
Right.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard now as adults to make new friends.
It's not easy.
No.
Especially when you think about, like, say the relationship that you're in, right? Where they have friends that they grew up with or whatever. And, like, you have your friends. And then it's like, I think you're in a good position where you have a really great fiance whose friends are very welcoming.
So I have to say something about that. My fiance has a group of friends. There's probably, I'll exaggerate, maybe there's 15 of them. They all grew up since they were probably 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, whatever it is. We'll say elementary school. Through now, they're all in their 40s. They are all married. Almost all of them have children. And my fiance was the only one that was still single. And coming in as a female in my almost 40s with someone that was never married and doesn't have children, and I am divorced and have a child. And here's this group of people that all are intertwined for years. Like they have been married and together and dating, and some of the wives actually grew up together or went to school together. So it's like they're all in like long-term friendships. And when I tell you that they were the most welcoming group of people, like from day one, I can't even say that anyone gave me like a side eye, an eye roll, a resting bitch face, nothing.
I love that.
They were all the nicest people ever. But the first couple of times I was around them, I'm like, oh, this is weird. Like, why are they so nice? Like, are they being like overly nice?
It's a good problem to have.
Are they talking about me?
Yeah.
Like, it was so bizarre. And I have literally said to Mike so many times, I have never been put into a group of people that I felt so comfortable with because everyone was just so welcoming.
Right.
At all we went away on vacation for an entire week, and I was just like, oh my God, this is going to be crazy. Like, now you're put in a different position. You're with these people for 7 straight days, morning, afternoon, night, sleeping in the same house. It was amazing.
That's great.
Not one eye, like everyone is just so sweet and kind and like texts each other and they're there for each other. And like, it's just a really great group of friends.
I'm glad that you have that. Yeah.
But not that I don't think of any of them as my friend. I do, but I don't see them that often. So then now I have a son who's in new school and trying to make friends, and he makes friends. And then like, you know, we'll go to baseball games or football games or wrestling tournaments or whatever. And like, the moms are just not as welcoming. They're very cliquey. And I get it. It's fine. Like, you guys have, they're now, the kids are now 13 years old for the past like 10, 11 years, whatever. You've bonded with these moms through kindergarten, through 8th grade. So it's like, hey, no new friends.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, it's all dependent on like location and like what happens with that, right? I have to be honest, like I personally don't have a lot of mom friends, or never really did, because I was the youngest mom compared to like my daughter's friends' moms who are in their 50s or like close to their 50s, and like just on different playing fields. So I'm very cool with a lot of them, but I've never really hung out with them much. Like,
see, I was fortunate that my son had a group of friends and that the moms were awesome. And I still talk to them all the time.
yeah.
And I still hang out with them as much as I can, and we do Christmas things together and holiday
Well, some
things
of the
together.
moms that you're friends with are actually like also have kids that go to the same, are in the same grade as my daughter. So I know some of them, they're really great people.
They are.
I also am like a little, you know, like a different in the sense that like I work in the city. A lot of them stay in like Brooklyn or Queens, and like our teachers here, and like, you know, have like a different lifestyle. But I also am, you know, dating someone, long-term relationship, who's younger than me.
Right.
He's 5.5 years younger than me. He's got a great group of friends, but we're all like, you know, they're different ages, and they're going through things now that we went through when we were in our 30s, like early 30s and, you know, mid 30s. And, you know, I think because my partner is so introverted, he will never take the initiative to be like, hey, let's like get a group of people together and let's go out and like do this. As like, I do that, but I do it with my friends because, and I force him to come. So he gets out. But it's, you know, it's one of those things where like your situation is great. Like that, I would love that. I would love to be able to have like couples nights where we go out to dinner and do like those types of things. And that's not hard. Like that's not easy to do when you're older and you have a ton of competing priorities where you're working, you're raising a kid at the same time, and how do you make friends?
Right. How do you make friends as an adult?
Yeah. Like,
so I just started to like, there's like 2 moms that jointly became friends with the kids, and we've been doing carpool, and like we'll text each other here and there and stuff, like, hey, what's happening with this and stuff. But you know, and we're like, hey, let's have a mom's night. But other than that, it's like it's been challenging for me to move from Queens to Long Island only for the sake of having mom support.
Right.
When I was in Queens,
community.
Yeah. When I was in Queens, I had my girls. I still do. I still talk to them all the time.
It's tough.
So it was weird because I was like, oh, the kids are playing games together. They're playing, you know, like you don't want to chat with me during the entire game. Like, I'm used to sitting at baseball with the girls
Right.
and like chatting the entire game. Like, oh, whose kid was just at bat? We weren't even paying attention because we were talking.
Yeah.
And now it's like totally different. And it's fine. I'm fine with it.
Right. Well, my daughter, she played softball for years, and I met some really great moms there, but she decided that she doesn't want to play softball anymore. So it's almost like a little bit
Now
of a
you broke up
breakup.
with that team.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, come on. You know, we're still close. We still send each other DMs and
Right.
things like that. But like,
It's
you
not
know,
the same
it's just
when
like
you don't see them.
your kids are going on a journey and you have to just go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am in a predicament where I'm like, oh my God, we're about to go explore colleges across the states and see where she wants to go. And I'm going to be an empty nester soon. And I'm like, what do I do with my free time? My life revolves around like, all right, you got to go to this game. You got to go here. I got to drop you off here. We got to go do things for my kid. And when she goes to college, I am going to have a lot of free time. And that's going to be prime time for me to be like, all right, like, who am I hanging out with?
Well, that'll be your travel time too.
Yeah.
You can travel.
I
like have fun date nights and not have to worry about sports and after school activities and homework and wondering where your child is and wondering what time you have to pick them up and drop them off.
That's a lot. I do want my boyfriend to be able to go out and hang out with his friends and keep that going for him in a lot of ways.
Because you want to stay home alone by yourself and be an
Sometimes I love to be home alone and like, you know, just like lay on the couch in silence, you know, no TV, like just quiet. But I also think it's really important that like there is an opportunity in relationships to like you go off and hang out with your friends. You go spend that time, go make some memories with them. And then like I can do the same thing and then we come back together. Like we do date nights all the time and it's good, but like it's just us.
Go have guys' night.
Go have a guys' night.
I'm fine with a guys' night.
Go have fun.
I'm okay with that.
I'm the same. Yeah, because like I said, it's important that you maintain those relationships, not just for women, but also for men too.
Right.
So important.
I agree. I couldn't agree more, actually.
Well, do you remember when I had that moment where like I posted on Facebook, like the Facebook group for like the area, and I was like, if anybody wants to go for like a walk with me every morning, and then like a bunch of people responded, were like, I'm happy to like meet up, let's do a walk. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to do this anymore.
Forget it, the walk is canceled.
I ended up like
still
going on the walk by myself and seeing some of the people, and I was like,
responses, and they're like flagging you down, like, excuse me, are you the one that posted on the Facebook group?
Yeah, I
like power walking past them. I
should have thought about it before I posted it, and then I was like, oh my God, I don't actually like talking and walking at the same time. I just want to like walk.
You don't want to walk and talk?
No.
Well, we're going to do an episode where we walk and talk.
But that's different. That's you and I.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll do a couple episodes so that we can get our steps in. Yeah.
We have to like, that's what someone can do while they're listening to us.
Right.
They can walk.
That would be we would have to preface it. If you have an opportunity to walk and listen to this podcast, put your sneakers on now and get ready to go, because that's what we're doing. So
we're not even going to talk that long. It's going to be a quick, brisk walk for you.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
Get it done. And that's going to be important too. I think like one of the topics that we'll cover is like moving your body.
Yeah.
And like in any way, shape, or form.
I agree.
30 minutes a day. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
So
even if you're folding laundry and you have your weighted bands on your arm, you know, like those arm weights.
Yeah.
Folding laundry. I know you don't fold laundry, so.
Well, just any sort of like errands or activity at home, like housework, you can.
Yeah. I got a weighted vest. It's a game changer.
I have one too. I love it. I do love it. It definitely changes the intensity of a walk. Mm-hmm. Like I'm literally sweating after like a 30-minute walk, and it's just so beneficial.
We'll have to talk more about a weighted vest.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the benefits.
We probably can also start to put in some links on, you're the social media expert, so like any like things that we talk about that could be beneficial for health, like supplements. Yeah. We're not doctors, obviously, but like
not in the...
things that we do that help us to kind of manage certain things. Yeah. We can link those things.
Link them on like an Amazon.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that.
LTK or something like that.
All right, so this is the end of our episode.
Yes.
Follow us. Find us on Instagram under Retirement Plan Secured Pod. Or on TikTok, Retirement Plan Secured Pod.
Okay.
Leave us a review. give us some 5 stars.
Do we have to have a review? Does that happen in podcasts?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, because then people will review it and be like, hey,
Yeah,
wow,
I have no clue. I'm
Allison and
really
Jenn are
winging this
awesome.
one with you.
We're winging it. We're winging it, and we're going to wing it so far.
Yeah.
We're going to make it.
We'll do this.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening.
Bye.